Chords and Coffee number 19, the sweet tea episode. Thank you, Dave Pendergrass, for the sweet tea. And yes, I am drinking it out of a pickle jar. That's how I do it. So you ever do that? You ever get on YouTube and find backing tracks to practice your pentatonic scales, or any scales for that matter? The reason I wanted to pull that one up is I got a really great question from my old buddy Dave McCrate. And Dave says, my question is, this is off the last video, he posed this question. He says, do you think relative minor pentatonic over a major chord, or do you think major pentatonic over a major chord? Man, that is an age-old question, because if you just got out there on the interwebs or even just bought a book with pentatonic scales. In fact, I used to own a couple different editions there were variations on the theme of Guitar Grimoire. And that was one of the first places where I realized, just looking through those pages, wait a minute, this scale is the exact same as that scale, just a different name. And that's because so much of the context of how you name a scale, or even a chord for that matter, depends upon what it's framed in, or what is the event that is occurring inside of. And as far as pentatonic scales go, Dave, that's a fantastic question. I'll tell you how I think about it. I think about everything in terms of B minor, or in this case with D major. It's all kind of one and the same. So yeah, I kind of tend to think of converting everything to a minor pentatonic. But the truth is, in my mind, I'm kind of seeing these activities as one and the same, right? And so here's what I mean, is that when I'm playing good old B minor pentatonic and D major, that's actually just the same scale in different order, right? Because it's still B, D, E, F sharp, and A, right? Just in a different order. And in fact, if you were to just Google or get a book that have all the pentatonic scales in it, this would be position number 1, right? And then this is position number 2, and then position number 3, and so on and so forth, right? And that's just the way I think about it. I just think of all of these things as the same sort of thing. And the reason for that is I'm really trying not to think while I'm playing. I'm just trying to be in the moment. I'm trying to listen. And if anything, the metaphor that I like is that each one of those notes, it's like onions, garlic, green bell pepper, salt, pepper, right? There's a lot of stuff you can cook with that. Just a whole lot of recipes. And in fact, you don't even need a recipe. You can start throwing that in a skillet and whatever else you got, and it'll taste pretty good, right? So here's a way I'm going to challenge you to practice this. Go find you on YouTube just then. That is a fantastic backing track. If you haven't done that before as just a practice tool, you should totally do that, because on that particular style track, I'm going to bring this up again. Let me turn this down here real quick. On that particular style track, what they do is they show you the chords. they show you the chords as they're flying by, so that when that G minor comes up, that's sort of a surprise. You know what's coming. And when you see that, for example, G minor, when that chord came around in that backing track, in my mind, I'm thinking G minor, B flat major, same. And so when I'm practicing an idea, I'm practicing that idea as a standalone event that has many contextual applications, depending on what's going on. So how do you put that into play? Well, the next thing would be like, okay, I'm going to go find a B minor backing track. So B minor guitar backing track on YouTube. I have not practiced what it is I'm about to play. So here it goes. I found one. So this is mild bluesy. Well, that's me all over, isn't it? Mild bluesy. And I'm going to play this mild bluesy guitar track. There's probably an ad on this thing, so I'm going to turn this down here so we don't have to listen to that. Yep, sure enough. All right, so I'm gonna play this, and when it comes up, I'm gonna be playing B minor pentatonic scale ideas, but I'm also, I'm gonna be thinking D major arpeggios. I'm gonna be thinking the same kind of ideas that would work over D major should work over this, right? So here it comes, mild bluesy backing track in B minor. So you get the idea. I'm just literally practicing my pentatonic scale over that track. I'm getting comfortable with it. I'm getting comfortable with certain ideas and phrases, those little pinch harmonics. If all you did was say, okay, I'm going to pick a key and I'm going to go find the relative major to that minor pentatonic and then go find a minor groove backing track. So a major and a minor backing track for whatever key. So in this case, D and B minor, same. C and A minor, same, right? G and E minor, the same. You get it, so on and so forth. If you did that and then said, I'm going to try to play the same sort of licks over these backing tracks just so that I can phrase them a little different to fit whatever the vibe of the track is, that would be a really good practice. I was just at a men's conference this weekend, and there's a real famous baseball pitcher, and he was talking about this guy. He's actually, there's been more people there's been more people walk on the moon than have scored a run against this guy, right? I mean, this guy has struck out a lot of batters, and I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I was still compelled by this information. He has one pitch, he says. He's thrown this one cutter fastball or whatever it is, right? And he's done this for 17 years. So many times, we as guitar players, we get down on guys. In other words, we kind of look down upon guys who only use the pentatonic scale or who just, make a career. I mean, believe you me, you don't have to search very far to find some fantastic blues players where if you were to actually dissect what they're doing, they've really only used the pentatonic scale. But it's the phrasing that you play those collection of notes with that makes all the difference. Well, how do you practice great phrasing? Well, go on a guitar backing track roulette where you just spin the old YouTube wheel and then find a backing track, right? And then once you find one that you like and you play along with it, if it's in E flat, well then go find a C minor backing track so that you can use the same licks in a different context. This little nugget right here will change your life, okay? So I don't have a whole lot of chords to give you, but what I am telling you is take that good old B minor pentatonic scale, find you some D major tracks, and watch how much phrasing chops you can develop if you will just woodshed. And you want to find different tracks too, and you want to really listen, because the whole point of this exercise is to be able to train your fingers to obey your ear so that when you're playing against these tracks, you're feeling the vibe of the tune. I hope that helps you. And I tell you what would be really awesome to this community that we were building. Would you guys actually, when you find a YouTube track that you like and you think, hey, this is a really good one, and then here is the other one, would you post the links to the minor and the major in the comments below so the rest of us can, listen to that? And if there's one that you'd like to hear me talk about as far as like, why this chord progression is this way, why it sounds so good, or maybe, hey, I'm, kind of having a hard time and find something good to play over this particular track, put that below. I challenge you to do that. Find you some YouTube backing tracks that we can talk about. Comment the link below. You just copy and paste the link in the comments, and we'll go from there. Dave, great question. Dave Pendergrass, great team. Hope you're enjoying this. I'm enjoying making it for you, and I appreciate every single one of you. We'll see you next week.